Hey, to speak on the show, episode 28, 10-year anniversary. Let's go, baby. Good morning, good morning. It's Saturday morning, and I'm your boy OT. First, let's give an honor to God who allowed me to speak to you on this weekly basis. And let's get through all these formalities right now. Go to rwcoolings.com and you can find every episode here on the show. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and you can check us out after the show on Apple iTunes, speakonit.com. So listen, it's a takeover. Yes, don't adjust your screen. It's your boy OT. I am taking over to speak on the show today. We are going one-on-one with your man RW. So we're going to be celebrating his 10-year anniversary. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. The phone lines is open 844-904-2665. Say what you want, say what you mean. We are family. We come in as family. We're going to leave as family. Oh man, this right here is an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here on the 101. I am taking over to speak on it. Good morning, Lady Michelle. Good morning, good morning. Hey y'all. 10 years. 10-year anniversary on the Speak on the Show, and your boy RT is actually hosting this right now. So we're gonna bring in RW because we're going to celebrate this 10-year anniversary the right way. I am going to be interviewing him. He is now my guest on his own show. Yes, indeed, he is my guest on his own show. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, because hey, he going on 10 years, y'all. 10 years. Good morning, good morning. Gary, good morning, good morning. Giving them all shots out right now. So let's go ahead and bring in the man, the boss, because he the boss, y'all. RW. RW, you there?
Good
Bring him in.
morning, good
Producers is bringing him in
morning,
right
good
now.
morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on, my brother? What's
What's
going on,
going on?
everybody? 10 years, baby.
10
10
years,
years,
10
baby.
years, 10 years. OT has taken over the show. It's called The Takeover, one-on-one with RW, man. And I got to give you a special shout out, man, because it's definitely an honor. It's definitely a pleasure to actually interview you because 10 years you've been in the game. You've been in the game, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready, bro. This week I was wondering, I said, what kind of stuff OT gonna ask me? Because I know you always try to hit me on the blind when you ask me stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm excited, man. I'm looking forward to, you know, the next 11 years. I mean, next year, 11,
Mm-hmm.
12, 13, moving forward. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Phone lines are open. We got somebody calling in already, man. We want to go ahead and do this.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
want to do a
Let's go
phone
ahead and
line?
open up the phone lines. Open up the phone
All right.
line.
Let's
All
see
right,
who we
now who
got
we
here.
got here early in the morning? Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here on the 10-year anniversary of the Speak on the Show. Who do I have the pleasure to speak to?
You have the pleasure of speaking with Rodney's big brother, Terrence Collins. How you doing,
Ah,
OT?
how you
TC.
feeling today? How you feeling today? Well, hey man, thank you for
I'm
joining
feeling
us here
blessed.
right now.
Feeling blessed. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, I had to call in. First of all, Rodney, congratulations. 10 years is a tremendous accomplishment.
Thank you, bro.
I'm, uh, I'm very, very proud of you to no small accomplishment by any stretch. And thinking about you this morning, I'm the oldest of four, as you guys have heard Rodney talk about his siblings. And first of all, don't believe everything he tells you. A lot of revisionist history there. He doesn't recall everything as accurately as he probably could, but that's for another day. But I would say, as the oldest sibling, I am constantly inspired by Rodney and my sister Lynn and my brother Dwayne. They make me so proud of them to be their big brother. And when I think about Rodney, two words come to mind. I think of purpose and passion. And you think about this lifetime that we have, it's a blessing if you find one of those, right, in your entire life. But to have both, Rodney has always had a voice, and has never been reluctant to share his thoughts respectfully, always sharing that, but to come out every week, share that voice, provoke thoughts, give a different perspective, and shine a light on topics that don't always get the attention that they deserve. I think it's just amazing. And then passion. He's always passionate about whatever he pursues, but 10 years speaks for itself. To be at this milestone is amazing. So that's what I wanted to say. Just kind of acknowledge and give props to my little brother, and to congratulate you. I love you, and I look forward to 15 years, 20 years, all the additional milestones. So keep doing what you're doing, little brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Love you.
Oh man, good.
Thanks,
Look
bro.
at that, big bro that had to holler in. Big bro had to holler in. Go ahead, hey. Listen, man, that's a blessing. That's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
So I know everybody want to call him, but we got to get to this one-on-one first, because at the end of the day, he did 10 years in his broadcasting business, y'all. 10 years. So let's go ahead and get some background on this, because OT is he is a celebrity, and I'm treating him like a celebrity. So I want y'all to understand what your boy OT about to do. Now, everybody know, I do celebrity interviews, and I'm doing one right now. So 101, RW. First of all, man, thank you once again. It's an honor and a pleasure to actually be here having a conversation with you. I appreciate you allowing me the time to have this conversation with you. So
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, let's go ahead and dive into it, man.
Right,
Where are you from? Where are you from, and how did you get started in the broadcasting business?
Frederick, Maryland, baby, born and raised. I will represent Frederick, Maryland to the day I die. Frederick, Maryland, baby. Frederick, Maryland. Shout out to Frederick, Maryland. I'm a little loud this morning, but Frederick, Maryland. Frederick, Maryland. It's funny, OT, because I sit back, man, and I think about my life as a whole. And then you ask me how I got started with the microphone. But it started way before a microphone. You know what I'm saying? When I think back and I think about some of the people that I supervised in the military, people I've talked to, and they always said I had an opinion. And as my older brother just said, I was never afraid to say what I had to say when I had to say it. And my mother, shout out, Mom, how you doing? I know you out there listening. Would correct me many times, because sometimes I would come out my mouth wrong. But at the same time, she never stopped me. Her and Big Lee, they never stopped me from being me and expressing myself in manners, as long as it was in a respectful manner and everything. So I want to give them a shout out. And then my little brother and little sister, as well as my older brother, they would sit and listen to me talk smack, talk about them, and different things like that. So I think it all started way before a microphone was ever put in front of me. I think the first, and I will go here, first time I ever had a microphone in front of me where I actually had to do something, I had to sing in church. I had to sing in church, and it was One Day at a Time, gospel song. I can sing it right now, but we're not going to go there. But that's the first time, and I was so nervous. Man. But looking back on it, I looked out amongst some people out there, and I think it's just, the fact that getting comfortable, which you never truly get comfortable, if you turn the microphone on in the morning, you're not. I still get some nervousness about messing up and things like that. But at the same time, I know I got a message to put out there. So it kind of, because I want everything to go right. So
Right.
it's not the fact I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just the fact I want everything to be right. So that's how I started. I know that was a long-winded one, but yeah, that's how I got started. Was back home just talking smack, and then with the microphone, it came from you. As far as telling me, I should start a show, whatever. Because I guess you heard me talking smack in the warehouse down there in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So you picked up on something that a lot of other people knew, but you picked up on it and said, you need to have your show. So that's how Speak On It was created.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, man, because you started in Las Vegas. What are some of the difficulties that you faced when you started your show?
Coming up with a name, coming up with a platform, what I wanted to do. And let me let everybody out there know. Though it may look easy, and I know I don't make it look easy, but I said, though it may look easy and calculating everything, you're at the burden, per se, of the internet. Because I know, and I'm gonna go back, OT, when I first started this, we was on Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, sir.
It was just
yes,
audio.
Sir. Yep.
And I didn't have a home and I had a hotspot. So the hotspot would come in and out, and my voice would sound like a robot and all that. So that was one of the biggest pet peeves I had, was that if you don't have that steady, feed from the internet, oh man. I mean, I was doing an interview. I remember one interview I was doing with was from Minute Large, Dave Tolliver. And the internet kept going in and out, and I could hear him in the background. Yeah, man, what's wrong with this dude's internet? What's wrong with this? Now, you're talking about a celebrity now. This dude got albums. I'm just little old me, and I can't even keep the internet consistent. So when he answered the question, he don't sound like Darth Vader or somebody. So when you talk about the struggles of starting, everything else was pretty easy. But that internet, trying to make sure you got the right connections and things like that, because a lot of people won't talk about that. A lot of it deals with your connections and your microphones and all the things that you don't see is some of the biggest struggles you deal with, and having guests show up on time when you decide to have them on. You know all about that, right?
Oh, yeah, I know.
And tell them you're gonna start at this time, and they ain't there, and then you trying to fill that gap. Yeah, it's a rough one, bro. It's a rough one.
So,
yeah, that's.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because you talked about one of the struggles with the show name. How did you come up with the show name, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Man, I had so many names. I wish I had that piece of paper. I wish I had a piece of paper that I know I had at least 25, 30 names on there, man, of shows. But Speak On It, I don't know, man. It was one of the days when, after I was trying to figure out what I was going to call it, and it just came to me. And it said, Speak On It. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Anything that happens in this world, someone's going to speak on it and give their opinion. So I said, you know what? This will be the best thing. I said, because not only for me, when I'm doing the show, as far as me speaking on it, but the people who decide to chime in, or the people that I'm interviewing and things like that. So Speak On It came from the man upstairs, to tell you the truth, because that wasn't on the paper when I was writing all these names down. And then just one day out of the blue, it said, Speak On It. I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. And to know that Speak On It, what it stands for and what it has stood for and what it continue to stand for, it lets me know that, and I don't want to get all religious on here, but God is always in the midst of everything that I've done through my whole life. So for me to have this and know that 10 years strong, I'm still able to do this, even with the breaks in between that we talk about, it just lets you know that your purpose, passion, as my brother was saying, it's all intertwined. It's all intertwined. So yeah, that's how Speak On It came to be.
Wow, y'all. Right now we're talking to, RW radio personality here on the one-on-one on his platform to speak on his show.
Wait a minute, bro. Hold on.
What
you say, radio personality?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me.
Sir.
I don't mean to cut you off. I know you're doing the interview.
Yes, sir. Hey.
I have never looked at myself in that light. And I say that, and I pause you for that because there's something about what you said that just hit me this morning. I may not, and this is just off the top of my dome. I may not have all the followers, all the listeners of Ricky Smiley or Tavis, Tavis Smiley back when he was doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
Michael Baisden and all them, or even the OT. Let's just be real. Or these other podcasts, and we talk about this all the time. OT, the other podcasts that are out there. But one thing I will say is that for what I do on this platform, the impact to make people think, and I know we're probably gonna get into this, but I'm ahead of the game, but to make people think about what we're talking about and what's going on around them. I'm gonna receive that, bro. I'm gonna receive a radio personality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I'm trying to get to a talk show host. I'm trying to expand to talk show host.
Listen, because you started out on radio, right? And from radio, now, a lot of people really don't understand that you are a personality, even though you came from radio, but you're still a personality. You better be like, I got something else coming. Because see, we're gonna let some people know. See, this 10 years in the game.
Right.
10 years in the game. Now, I would say this. You might not have a lot of followers, but the followers that you do have impact other people.
Loyal followers.
And that's what people don't understand that, right? People say, oh, he got 100, 200, 1,000, 2,000 followers. He ain't got enough. But those 2,000, those 100 impact more than the 100,000, the 200,000. So y'all don't get caught up in these numbers. But at the same time, I'm going to tell y'all too, y'all loyal, but make sure you be one of them loyal followers that share, and share. Because I'm going to tell you, 2023, y'all better be doing a lot of sharing, because pretty soon there's going to be some big things happening in 2023. But we ain't going to get on that. We just going to stick back to the interview in hand. Now, you said that you are from the DMV.
Get it right. Frederick, Maryland.
Frederick, Maryland.
Everybody says DMV. I claim Frederick, Maryland. It's within the DMV.
Frederick, Maryland. Right?
Right.
Now, you started in Vegas, but then you went back home. How was that transition? And how was,
Uh-oh. I think he froze up. But I think I knew where he was going. Going back to when I got back into to the DMV, the transition wasn't hard per se. It was still doing the same thing. I had a studio down in Virginia where I was doing the show from, and that's where I was having the internet problems from. But I think it was more comfortable doing it back there, and when I really started getting my footing because family, friends was around. I had some people coming to the studio and everything. Long-term goal was to get a studio again, but doing it from the studio, it made a big difference for what I was trying to do and with the show. It's funny because sometimes when you've been away for so long and then you decide to come back home where everybody's at, your family's at and everything, that sense of security is there. And the support from family, friends, everybody people I grew up with that listened to the show and things like that. It made a big difference, made a big impact, and made me really, truly know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I think OT has some technical difficulties, so he should be back in here in a minute. So, but yeah, hey, let's just get in. Let's go back some of these things. Trent Branch, loyal followers, yes sir. Appreciate that, bro. Jerry L. Page, happy anniversary, my brother. Hey man, I appreciate you, bro, for all you do for me on a daily basis. April Whedon, happy anniversary. Appreciate you. Brian Hoodie, my brother. Good morning. Appreciate you. Yeah, Trent, my brother blindsided me. It was a great start to the show. That was good to hear that first thing this morning. April, good morning, brother. Yeah, anniversary. Gary Burns, what's up, my brother? Appreciate your support. Michelle Jones Austin, Lady Michelle, appreciate you. Thanks. We need to catch up. And Trent Branch, good morning. Happy anniversary, brother. Appreciate y'all. And let me say this, when I said this about loyal followers, loyal listeners, the big thing about that is that I know consistently There's going to be people, family, friends, whoever, that are going to tune into the show every week to listen to what I got to say. Critique it, do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, I'm doing this for a purpose. I'm doing it for a reason. And that's to get the information out that needs to be out. You guys always, follow me. You give me good feedback. Some people will call me after the show, tell me it was a good show, tell me everything was good, and say they didn't hear about this or hear about that. Those are the things that keep me going. Those are the things that keep my drive continue to go. And it's just one of those things with the show that I enjoy doing. And let's just be real here. 10 years, when you start something, when you initially start something, you never have a focus of how long it's going to last or how long you will be doing it. You never have a focus, at least in my opinion. You never have a focus and you never have an end goal unless it's something that is short term. But I know for me, I would never have thought when I first started this that 10 years would go by as quickly as it has, and for me to be able to have done everything that I've done up to this point. So I think we got OT back. So go ahead, OT. What you got? I answered your question, even though you got cut off or your internet went down. But go ahead, bro. What you got?
Bro, let me go ahead and say this, man. Right? Prepare. I got a generator, bro. All the lights just went out through the whole neighborhood. I got a generator. My lights just yeah. But hey, this is the reason why I have a generator.
You know why I went down, right? Because I was just talking about stuff dropping, studio not working. These are things.
Yeah.
See, you don't see this on national TV. They got backup generators to the backup generator to the backup generator. If the power, I'm gonna just let y'all know, power go out here, show's over because I can't come back on. I ain't got no backup generator. It's a done deal. I haven't bought a backup generator. Thought about it, but I ain't bought one yet. So go ahead. I'm sorry,
bro. Let me go ahead and tell you, man. Listen, this is the cause of being in the game for so long. These are the things that happen, and I'm back in less than, I guess, a minute. So thank you for having this generator, bro. Because I tell you, like you said, show would have been over.
If mine drop, you just keep doing what you do. I'll call in.
See, y'all, this is what you get when you get live, right? Because a lot of shows that people watch are edited, so they're only going to give you bits and pieces. This is what we call live, direct, and authentic. And this is why I say, you being in the game for 10 years, this is one of the authentic shows that people need to listen to, watch. But you already answered the question of coming from the DMV, left Vegas, go to the DMV. Now you back in Vegas.
Yes,
you left the DMV, now you back in Vegas. You back at home. You want to call that?
How about them Aces, baby? Let's give a shout out to the WNBA before I go any further. The WNBA.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of critique about women's basketball. I'm a fan. You be what you want,
too.
But I'm a fan.
Me too.
And
Me too.
To go to those games and see it live, I've gone to games many times, but women's basketball is fundamental basketball.
Talk about it.
Fundamental. Anybody that knows anything about sports and basketball, women's basketball is fundamental basketball. They throw the right pass. They see the open person. There ain't nothing that one-on-one dribble 50 times, take a shot. They rotate the ball. They move the ball. They play defense. I'm not going to go into all that, but I'm just saying, for me to go and see the Aces win this championship, because I went to 2 games during this playoff run, I'm a fan. So next time you see one of them orange sweatshirts with the WNBA logo on it, don't judge me. Judge yourself for not tuning in. But go ahead, OT. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They need to get me on the WNBA as an analyst or something,
So now you back in Vegas, right?
Yes,
back
sir.
in Vegas and COVID hit. Right. How did COVID impact your show?
Well, I'll go even deeper than that. Before COVID, Well, doing in that midst, my show changed with the George Floyd murder.
Mm.
The George Floyd murder, and I did a video where I stated I'm not okay with that, with what happened. And from that point on, it kind of changed the dichotomy of what I wanted to do with the show. Because it was one thing to talk about what's going on and everything like, but it's another thing to go in depth about what's going on as far as racism, voting suppression, you know, lies being told about COVID and telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, which is totally different than what Dr. Fauci was saying and all these different things. And it changed my mindset of rather than just go with the flow, I'm gonna go with the truth. And the biggest thing about that is sometimes what you find out is the truth will push people more away than it will bring them in. Let me say that one more time because I want people to listen. Because we talked about followers and listeners. So I want to be specific when I say this, and that's why I don't look at how many people viewing or look at how many likes I got or none of that kind of thing. Because what I understand to be true is this, and I think everybody out there listening can understand this. When you talk truth or when you speak truth, most people, majority of people, will gravitate away from you than gravitate to you. Because sometimes when you speak truth, they don't want to be that close to it because they're so used to the lies. They're so embedded in the lies that are going on that when you speak truth, it's like kryptonite. It's like kryptonite to Superman. They can't function. And then if you ever notice, most of the other shows that people may watch and everything, they tell you what you want to hear.
Yep.
Not what you need to hear.
Yep.
So when COVID kicked in and George Floyd and all the different things were going on during that time period, it just triggered me to be like, okay, this is it. This is that lane. And it wasn't done consciously. It was a subconscious move, but it was that lane to go in and say, speak truth. Speak truth to power. Don't worry about who's listening, because eventually the word will get out and somebody will hear it that didn't want to hear the truth. And, you get your comments, race beta and all that kind of stuff. And I've talked about this before. However, when they call me a race beta, all they're saying is truth teller. And I leave it alone. It's like that.
Now, you went from behind the microphone scenes to now in front of the camera. Tell our listeners and people who are going to be watching the replay, what were some of the adjustments that you had to face?
You gotta get dressed.
You gotta one of the realest answers. That is one of the realest answers that I have heard from any interview.
I mean, let's be real. You can be from the top up, but you gotta get dressed. That's number one. The biggest transition, man, is when you're doing it. When we were doing the Blog Talk Radio and it was just audio, and you talked, there didn't seem to be any pressure or anything like, because you're just talking to the microphone and reading whatever you're reading and doing it that way. With the camera, your whole dichotomy has to change to a little bit. And I think it's more of not just that you got to get dressed, but you got to look like you know what you're talking about. Because behind a microphone, you can say whatever you got to say and not even believe it. Case in point, and I'll bring this up in this conversation. You had Rush Limbaugh that was on radio for years and years and years, spewing vitriol, lying, spreading race, all the different things you can think of, Rush Limbaugh did. But when you ever seen Rush Limbaugh in front of a camera, the same thing he was saying behind that microphone never came out his mouth. A lot of people hide behind the microphone when you can't see them. When you can see them and you can put a face to them, it's a different thing, because you can look at somebody's eyes when they're talking to you, tell if they're lying or if they tell the truth. Let's be real. So that transition for me from just the microphone and going through the radio for the audio and then coming to the camera, it was an adjustment because now people critique you even deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they looking at your background, they looking at your camera, whether you got the right what pixels and all that kind HD and all this kind of stuff. So it's the little intricacies that you look at, because somebody will tune into your show visually, and if the background ain't right or you don't look right or whatever, they're not gonna watch. If you have the internet problems that you have, they're not gonna watch. So you have to make sure that you got all your I's dotted and T's crossed if you decide to put that camera on compared to just a microphone. And I learned that because people are gonna tune in and there's gonna be some critique. But it's not the critique that matters; it's the message you're delivering, and that's the biggest transition was just trying to make sure everything is right. Because we one man operations, bro. We ain't got nobody back here working no boards or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So if something goes wrong, we got to adjust on the fly. I got to reach over here and touch this, and I got to turn this, and the lights ain't right. All that comes into play with the camera. With just the microphone, I just push play, and I don't know if it's getting out. I don't know if the people hear it unless somebody sent me a text message and say, we can't hear you.
Right.
That was the difference. That was the difference.
Now you are a father, you are a husband, you are a black man here in America. Let's just go ahead and just call it like that.
Call it like it is.
You are a radio personality. How do you juggle everything and still find peace in your life? Hey.
No,
listen, bro.
My internet froze.
Listen, bro. Listen. I mean, I'm talking to a radio personality guy.
Repeat that one more time, because I want to make sure that I heard everything you put in there.
Crickets hit that. Listen, hey, crickets. Listen, man. Yeah, these are OT interviews. I'm trying to tell you. We come in. You are a husband.
Mm-hmm.
You are a father. Mm-hmm. You are a black man in America. Mm. When do you find time, or when do you have peace? Because see, a lot of people talk about all the things that we are juggling, not taking nothing away from, everybody else, but we talking to you right now. Mm. When do you find mental peace? Because there's a lot of things, you being a radio personality, you being a husband, and you being a father, man, that's a lot of stress. A lot of people don't understand that. That's a lot of stress. When do you find peace?
And this may sound cliche to some, but it's the truth that I speak. Every morning I open my eyes, I find peace. Mm. And that sounds cliche and it may sound crazy, but every morning I open my eyes, I find peace. And I'll say it this way. I have peace in knowing that God has given me another day to impact somebody somehow, whether it be my wife, my kids, my co-workers, people that I'm around. One thing about it is God puts us in positions for reasons. And for me, I haven't come up with the reason. I stopped asking for what reason, but I know if he's waking me up in the morning, there's a reason for me to go out that day. Because sometimes, I think as far as being a black man, there's always going to be somebody who only sees you as a black man and sees you less than. As a husband, you're always going to have those trials and tribulations that come in your relationship that you're going to have to deal with every day, but you face them head on. You don't run from them. You face them head on. As a father, you try to be the best father you can be. There's no handbook on being a father. There's no handbook on being a dad. There's no handbooks on any of these things that we talk about, but you do the best you can with what's provided to you. That's why God wakes you up every day to face that challenge, because he knows it's in you to be the best you can be at what you're doing. You may not get it right. You may not get it right today. You may not get it right tomorrow, but as long as he's waking you up, you're doing something right. And then you look at the people that are around you that may not know you, but hear something you say, greet them with a smile. All those things as I've gotten older through life, the trials and tribulations, the travels, all the different things that have gone on with me, I sit back sometimes and I ask, why do I wake up every morning?
Mm.
It's not why I wake up, it's why he wakes me up. To do the things that he knows I'm capable of doing, to impact the people he wants me to impact, and to see those people put a smile on their face, somehow, some way, have people look at the world differently just because of who I am and how I walk. That's the best way I can break it down, bro.
Listen, y'all. I'm gonna say this. Get this man his flowers now. Give me your flowers now. You know what I mean? Because you impact. See, a lot of people really don't understand, but I'm going to give people some understanding real fast. All right. I have known this man for You've been in the air for 10. I've known this man for about what, 13 years?
12, 13.
12, 12,
12 to
13
13.
years.
I know, yeah.
Wow. This man has been an inspiration to me. We're gonna be real right now. I went through trials and tribulations too. But I can tell you one thing. When I make that phone call, he there. He there. I don't look at him as, oh, what I mean, this is RW from the speakers. I look at this man as my brother. That right there is my business partner. I'm gonna let y'all know that's my business partner. So where I go, y'all see OT rising, y'all see him right there. And that's a fact. I always told him that because he's more than, that father, that radio personality. You know what I mean? He is that friend that a lot of people say, hey, we got friends in this world. Some friends are like family. So that's my big bro. So I tell y'all one thing, boy. Listen, he on his radio, but he got backup. And that backup is strong. Can I tell y'all that backup is strong? But thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome,
definitely
bro.
saying thank you. I
No
appreciate
thanks
you.
needed, bro. No thanks needed. It's done from the heart, man. And you would do the
Yes,
same for
sir.
me, bro. So
Yes, sir.
that's
Yes,
what
sir.
that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yep.
Black
That's a
love,
fact.
bro. Black
Yes, sir.
brotherly love. That's what we need
Yes,
more
sir.
of out here. That's what we need more of out here. Black brotherly
Yes,
love.
we
Stop all
do.
that hating and disrespecting and all that. But
Yeah.
that's another topic for another
Not
show.
top. Yeah. So now 10 years. We gotta ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel 10 years being the radio personality man that you are, going through certain situations, difficulties, and now you 10 years strong? Have you ever thought that you would be 10 years strong?
Nah. Nah. I ain't think I'd be 1 year strong. Let's just be in it real. I'll put it in this context, man. I didn't think I would be 10 years strong, but I'll break it down in the simplest way I can. And my brother kind of touched on it. And, I left home at 18, left home at 18 and joined the Air Force at that time. And I knew that's what I wanted to do when I was in 9th grade. So I had my focus and I knew what I wanted to do. And one thing I've learned about myself as time goes on, when I set my mind to do something, I'm going to do it and I'm going to see it through. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that deals with everything across a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this, no matter what you decide to get into, when you decide to get into, no one goes into anything thinking this is going to end at a certain time. Whether it's relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a job, whether anything, you don't go in thinking 1 year, 2 years, I'm done or anything. Things happen. One thing I would say is that I try my best to do everything the right way, and I ain't perfect. We have our ins and outs, wrongs, rights, and all that kind of stuff. But I would say that once I made a focus that this is what I wanted to do, it just comes natural after so long. And when I say natural, it just comes natural for me to sit down, do the research and all that kind of stuff. What y'all see at the end is the end product of everything that leads up to that.
Mm-hmm.
So the radio show has changed me too. Let me just go here for a minute. It's changed me to the point of I ain't never liked reading. I didn't. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I had teachers when I was in school used to tell me you need to apply yourself. I said, apply to what? Apply to what? What are you talking about? Didn't like reading, didn't like doing homework. If you said school to me, it was like kryptonite and all that type stuff. But now I enjoy what I do. And that's that transition from being a boy to a man. And in that transition, you have your bumps, your bruises, your ups and downs and everything like that, but you just don't let those bumps and bruises distract you from what your overall purpose is. Because as I said before, when God wakes me up every day, I know it's for a reason. And once I'm focused on something, I look at it as God has a reason for it, even though I may not like what he wants me to do. He's got a reason for what I do. And I'm going to continue doing it that way. So I know I probably went off of what you asked me, but it goes along that lines of just trying to stay focused, man. Now it's 10 years now. Will it be 11? Will it be 12? Will it be 20? Somehow, some way it will be. May not be in this capacity. May not be in the same capacity, maybe a different capacity. But at the same time, this is something that's going to keep it. The train ain't going to stop. It might slow down, but it ain't going to stop. It ain't coming off them tracks. Let's read this comment. Joe Kirk, to my brother, my friend, my advisor, my buddy, I thank God for you and all you've done for me. Happy blessed day anniversary. Oh, bro, come on now. May God continue to bless you and all that you do. Much love, my brother. Man, I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Much love to you.
Definitely. Well, listen, right now we're talking to radio personality, RW. Phone lines are open. 844-904-2665. Like we always say, like he always say, hey, we are family. We come in as family. We're going to leave as family. So the phone lines is open if you want to have conversations with me right now. But, man.
Hey, let me say something about that phone line. Let me say something about that phone. Let me say something about that phone line. 844-904 cool. COOL. Look it up when you start dialing them numbers.
Wow.
844-904-2665 is 844-904 cool. I'll just put it out there. Well,
let me go ahead and say that phone line one more time. 844-904 cool. You know what I mean? Man, oh man. Well, look, man, now I got another question for you because you was doing a lot of interviews and now you have transitioned to more of what's going on in the world. I won't call it politics. You giving people information of what's going on in the world. How do you feel when you give an information and then 3 months later people start to catch on to it? Because I'm going to tell you something. It was one information that you have gained out. And I talked to you a lot about this right here. When we was talking about Texas, how the school system was taking how to teach, Black history, basically, right? And I sat back and I listened to that show. And 3 months later, it comes out. What do you say to people who then all of a sudden say, hey, man, you need to talk about that on your show? Because what do you say to those people after you done talked about something that happened 3 months ago, then all of a sudden they hear from a person, and I'm be real because Ali said this real good, a person that, say a Ricky Smiley, say a Steve Harvey, say these counter radio personalities start talking about it. How do you feel when you talked about it 3 months ago? Now all of a sudden they popping up talking about it. Now everybody is gravitating to it. How do you feel about that?
The last will be first and the first will be last. It's it's one of them things, man. And I had to go back again. That's not me. For me to find these things, see, this is something that when I get asked those questions, I don't really expand on it too much because some of my friends say, man, I ain't hear about that. How'd you hear about that? I just laugh. I chuckle to myself or I just smile because I know it's not me. When I'm in there and I'm looking for stories to talk about and they jump up and everything like that, that's not me. That's that purpose. That's that reason being fed through me. The man upstairs is working through me every time I go to do this show, every time I get ready to turn this microphone on. All those things are not R.W. Coolins, Rodney Collins, whatever you want to call me. That's not me. That's him working through me. So when I hear me do something like we talk about it all the time, a topic about something going on, and I've talked about it 2-3 months before mainstream media even wants to put it out there or anything like that. It's like I always say, the information is there for anybody. Mm-hmm. It's just how far you want to dig. And when I hear Ricky Smiley or Steve Harvey or any of these people, Don Lemon, any of these people start reporting it, I just listen to what they have to say. Because my thing is, and I'm gonna humble myself right here and say, I'm not trying to be first. I'm just trying to get the information out. If you heard it from somebody else before me, I'm cool with that too. I may be regurgitating something you heard yesterday, but the difference is the delivery, the meaning behind what you're saying, and exactly what the purpose of why you're saying what you're saying. See, we can report on black crime all we want. We can report on these people that serve 20, 30, 40 years in jail, and which is a passion of mine because every time I see it, I feel for those people. But just take, for example, somebody that serves 30 years in jail, right? Mm-hmm. We can hear about these all the time, and we can see the news report that they're going to get paid such and such amount of money, but they never touch on that the people we see that this happens to all the time look like us. Mm. They never talk about how the only people that are being released after 30 years for something they never did look like us. So when they report it, it's just glossed over. It's just an article in the paper. They don't go in depth about all the facts behind it and everything like that for you to understand that in order for this man or this woman of color to serve 20, 30, 40 years in jail, it didn't just happen because of the person that said they did it. It didn't just happen because of the cops who arrested them. It didn't just happen because of, the evidence that they provided or the lack of evidence. And it didn't just happen because of the lawyers or the judge. It happened because there's a system that has been set up here for years and years and years that nobody wants to pinpoint and talk about that has that person serving 20, 30, 40 years. So if the news, mainstream media news just wants to tell you, oh, this man was released after 30 years in jail. Well, all we know is he was released. We don't know what he was charged with. We don't know why he was charged. We don't know what evidence wasn't given. We don't know any of that. All we know is he came out and said, I'm blessed. I'm glad to be going home, blah, 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 and all this. That's all we know about that man. We don't know about how many people in his family passed away while he was in jail. Mm. We don't know about all the people who suffered because he may have been a breadwinner or she may have been a breadwinner. We don't look at all that trickle-down effect that goes into that. And that's why I make it a point to bring those type of stories to light, is because you ain't going to hear that nowhere else. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to go in depth to that. All they're going to tell you is he was exonerated. And most of the time it's not exonerated. Let's get that right. He was released from jail. Yeah. He was released. Never do they eliminate the record. The record still stands in there that he was charged, but they released him because it was on bogus charges. But ask the question, is his record expunged in most of those cases? So that's one of the things that, like I said, the last will be first will be last, because no matter how you do it, if you're not giving all the facts, you're just blowing smoke. Yeah, you're just blowing smoke.
Now, it's 2022. What can we see from you in 2023? What do you got boiling? What do you got going on? What kind of upgrades you going to do? You know what I mean? What can people expect from you in 2023? Because right now, 2022, we almost at that end point.
Right.
So, 2023, what can people differently from the speaker on the show or differently?
It's a new year. It's a new year. It's a new year. I'll start off the show, say speak on it, 2023, episode 1, 2, whatever. It's going to start off like that. Anything after that, bro, I have no clue. I have no clue. And the reason I say I have no clue is because a lot of it's going to hinge on what happens between now and the end of the year. You got to remember, bro, we got election coming up, midterm elections coming up. We
Yeah.
got all these different court cases against the former president. We got all this different legislation about, voting rights and voter suppression. We got all this is going to be impacting all of us. Inflation is still going up. Interest rates is going. So
What? Yeah.
to say what I'm actually going to be doing differently in 2023 is going to be predicated on what happens on December 31st. Between now and December 31st.
Time would
That's
dictate.
the best way I can give it to you. You know
Time
what I'm
and
saying?
events would dictate. Like my man
Yep.
said,
Time and events would dictate. Exactly.
Well,
and one thing I will say, though, one thing that will change will be me. I'm going to change going into 2023. And not because I'm doing no resolutions and nothing like that, because each year I make it a purpose to change something about me that's going to make me better for the people in my life.
okay.
That's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I know.
So what can you say to those who would like to get into the podcast business, the streaming business, because you're 10 years strong in this? What can you say to those who want to get into it?
Don't do it. No, if I wasn't 10 years in, I wouldn't get in. If I wasn't 10 years in, I wouldn't get in. And I'll tell you why. The reason why is, if you look at it, it's oversaturated right now.
Yes.
The market, and we talk about this OT all the time, it's oversaturated right now. So the thing about it is that, and I say that facetiously about don't do it. You can do it if you want, but I'm just going to give you some facts that we know to be true. If I was to look at now and say, I want to start a podcast, I don't know. I'd be very hesitant because there's so many out there that you don't know what people's true intentions are behind what they're saying and what they're doing. With that, there's so many out there that ain't saying nothing. You got, let's just break it down, OT. We talking about this. You got the informational, you got the spiritual, you got the ratchetness, you got every spectrum across the board. I mean, people can say the same thing about mine. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to judge anybody specific. I'm just saying there's so many out there that if someone was to get into it now, I think the pressure, let me say it this way, the pressure of worrying about likes, shares, all that is going to take away what you truly intend to do compared to what your intentions were or why you started. If that makes sense to everybody.
That's a fact.
Because now people are driven by likes, shares, heart emojis, the money they can make off of social media and everything like that. That's what drives them. It's not driven by purpose. It's driven by finances. Who's going to see me, when they're going to see, all that comes into play. So I would say for me, if this was 10 years ago and all this was going on right now, I wouldn't be on this mic. You gotta think about OT. We talk about it. We started when there wasn't a lot of blog talks out there. There wasn't a lot of shows out there.
Sure wasn't.
Now, bro, there's shows every place you look.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start one, I'll give you this advice. If you're going to start one, know what your purpose is, and don't waver from it because it's the trendy thing to do. Know what your purpose is. That's the best.
Wow. Hey, good interview, man.
We done?
Yeah, because it's almost an hour. Listen, man.
Hey, this is my time. I can go over an hour now. I mean, you got questions. Let's do this.
Look, we are going to do it the right way. Yes, I understand it's just show, but we only give people an hour. I only giving people an hour now because listen, we ain't waving over. Wife, how are you? How are you?
Look.
Hey, how are you? Hey, listen, I would like to say
she want to be on camera. That's all. She want to be on camera.
Listen, I need you to be on camera for a second because I gotta talk to you for a minute. I would like to say thank you. Thank you. Give her that right there.
I got it.
Thank you for allowing me to have conversation with him. I appreciate you keeping him covered. I appreciate you keeping them humble. So, wifey, thank you.
Oh, thank you. We love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Got him started.
Wait a minute, who said we love OT? Wait, whoa. I got a strong like. I got a strong like.
Well, look,
Got a
man, I
strong
mean,
like.
you being this radio personality, because right now we are still talking to, the radio personality RW here on the Speak on the Show. We are one-on-one with him. Where can people find you on social media and websites?
RW Coolings on all social media platforms on rwcoolings.com. The links are there. I don't post a lot on Facebook. Let me break this down because I wanted to talk about this. I don't put a lot of posts out there on Facebook other than the show. I have my personal page and I have the show page, RW Coolings show page. My government name is the other page. But I don't post a lot on social media. I just, and it's not done tactically or anything like that. I just don't put a lot of stuff out there anymore. But it's not that I'm not involved. It's not that I'm trying to avoid anything. I just concentrate on doing my show every Saturday. And that's where anybody wants to know my opinion about something, go to my show page. That's the best I can tell you. Or go to YouTube. That's the best thing to do for me. If you want to follow me or anything like that, go to YouTube. That's it.
Yeah, because we want to talk about support. We want to talk about family now. We always talked about this all the time.
All right.
And
Happy
your boy
anniversary.
OT, I'm about to start getting on some folk.
Okay, do your thing.
Because we get on folk here on one-on-one, speak on it. The OT show. And I'm always going to tell people this. All right. We do this because this is what we love to do.
Right.
Okay. We do this because this comes from the heart. We do this for free.
Wait a minute.
We do this for free. We're not asking for you to, cash app us. We're not asking you to, hey, once you go ahead and buy this, we ask for support. Support meaning give us a share, give us a thumbs up, tell us that you appreciate us. Tell this man that, hey, you know what? I got this. Because I'm going to say something. Now, I got one of your apparels. All right? I got one of your apparels. All right? And I love it. Came fast. I ain't gonna lie, that apparel came fast, but I tried to listen. When you dealing with black folk, some black folk stuff don't come as fast. Take 2 to 3 weeks. Let me tell you something. I ordered it. 3 days later, I had it. Size, everything fit well. When we do these things, it's coming out of our pockets. And you say that you support it. Buy something. Okay. You had them shirts, you had them hats, and I would love to see people pictures of the shirts and the hats. You know what I mean? So I would tell anybody that's listening, that is watching on replay, support. That's all we asking. Because your support is going into the show. Hey, it costs money for internet, y'all. It costs money for microphones, y'all. It costs money for cameras, y'all. It costs money for you having conversation with us. Because RW know it costs $250 to have a 30-minute conversation with your boy OT. And I'm be honest with y'all, my rates went up. Not because of
That's
people.
A baller. That's a baller.
Not because no. Not because of people. It's because of my value. Because the same way you have value, this is my value of having conversation. I ain't getting paid for this one, y'all. Let me just go ahead and tell you, he ain't paying me. As he always say to me, he ain't paying me. But at the end of the day, I appreciate this because at the end of the day, his payment is the love and support. And that's what I always appreciate. But I tell y'all something here. Yeah, today's price ain't gonna be yesterday's price. Or however you want to flip it. Because I'm gonna
Yesterday's
tell you,
price is not
it's not
today's
today's
price.
price. I'm gonna
Let
tell
me.
y'all that when it gets to that point, I don't want to hear no one saying, "Oh, he changed." No, the value have changed. Understand that it's value.
Yeah.
This is value, y'all. He giving it to y'all for free. And when folks
Free.
start giving him that money for free, he giving it to y'all for free. The value is free. Enjoy it, love it, share it, support it.
Let me touch on that for a minute, man. Because
Bro, let me tell you
we've
something.
had these conversations, man.
we had them, but
And
it gotta be said sometimes, right?
But no, you're right. You're right. I don't
Because
usually
listen,
say it.
but I'm gonna say it for you because your value of you giving information, right? People go to Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and all these people because of their status, right? You got people in the community, like my man Al said, you got people in the community that does this right here, but you would give that person with that celebrity status everything and don't give it to the person who was ground that's doing it. We need to change that because this is out of love. This is not out of, oh, you know what I mean? I'm just going to go and do it because I got all these sponsors. I got to do this. I can't say certain things. I got all these sponsors. This right here is out of love. The value is love. Y'all got to understand that. I need people to understand that. I go into that because I love this man and I see his value.
Strong light.
And a very strong light.
I'm
You understand
messing.
what I'm saying? A very strong light, but I see his value, and I want y'all to understand that we got to keep him covered through prayers and everything because it's hard. It's hard. Doing the things that he do is hard. He's a veteran. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a radio personality. He's a man of God. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
And emotional. So I would tell y'all support. Love on him. Pray for him. Support him. If you got something out there, you got any kind of merchandise, support it. Because it's going back into the love of the show to keep it going.
I'm gonna touch on something you said, and I agree with everything you said. It's just not me that brings it out that way because I don't, we have our conversations about it. Just be real.
Yeah.
But I'll say it this way, and I know I had some T-shirts out there and things like that or whatever, and couple four got sold here and there, give or take. Let me just put it this way about me and why I do what I do with the T-shirts and when you see the coolings on there and everything like this. You never see me, and anybody that knows me through my years will know this and remember. I don't wear brand names blazing across my chest, down my leg, or whatever. You can't. You have no excuse. I mean, you have no choice with the shoes because tennis shoes are always going to have either a swoosh or the Adidas sign, the logos, or whatever. That's one thing because I can't walk around shoeless.
Right.
But as far as advertising for someone else, I refuse to do. I refuse to do it. I refuse to have somebody's name blasted across my chest or plastered across. That's just me. And I'm not saying this for anybody else. This is me. So when I decided to do the shirts, and put them out there and everything, and it had a logo on there and coolings and all these different things, and there was like I said, there was only a couple people bought them. Did I get upset? A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Because I'm putting this out there, and it went along the same lines of what OT said. Person puts it out there, support, because the money was going to go back into the show and different things like that. But I got over that real quick. I just sat down, did it like that. I said, any shirts I want to make for myself, I make for myself. I wear my own shirts and keep it pushing. But it was funny because then people like, man, I like that shirt. Where you get that shirt at? Been on the website for about a year now. You know, what are you talking about? It's been out there for a year. That costs money to have it out there for a year.
Yeah.
So I took it down. Now, my excuse for folk, because it's just me, my excuse for folk was I said, they didn't buy the shirts because they didn't want my name on their chest or my show on their chest. Not taking into account, they may wear Gucci, MCM, Michael Kors, any of that. I'm not worried about them. I'm talking about me. So I took it down because I figured nobody wanted to see coolers across the chest. Nobody wanted to have speak on the show across their chest or whatever like that. So those were my reasons for it. I'm not going to go into point of y'all don't support, y'all don't do this. You do what you want to do. That's your money. But just remember, when you send out these posts on Facebook and different things like that, and I'm not just saying this is me, this is other folk. When you choose not to support other folk, you're going to need support sometime. So when you see that fundraiser for the amount of popcorn for the kids in the sports or the donate to this, donate that, and you don't get it, always remember that some of those people that you're asking to do that are the same people you didn't support. Not saying I do that because I love my popcorn. Let's just be real. I love my popcorn. But I'm just using that as an example. That's why I don't take it. I don't take it personal. I just take it for the fact that you don't want to buy the shirt. Don't buy the shirt. I'm not going to force you to buy the shirt. I'll buy my own shirts, make my own shirts, and wear my own shirts. I will advertise for me. And it brings me up to what Kanye West with the Gap, Adidas. He's always going back and forth with them about whatever he goes back and forth with people about. But he just came out this week, and I think everybody's seen the interview that he did with Sway. And he finally said, because he told Sway he didn't have the answers this week, he comes out at 4 years ago and says, Sway, you can have the answer.
Yep.
And what was the answer? Why don't you start your own business? That's what he told him. But he was going into business with these other companies rather than doing it himself. And this is what he got from it. I say all that to just say the money, you'll never see a Cash App. You'll never see a GoFundMe. You'll never see any of that from me. You'll never see any of that from me. Because my thing is, I'm going to pour into this what I want to get out of it. So if I'm pouring my money into it and I get some, some feedback or the show was good or any of that kind of stuff, I'm cool. I'm cool because that little, and I ain't going to say little, that little.
Go ahead. Let's be real.
That little.
Yeah. Go up a little bit more. That little.
That little amount of money that I look at it as that I'm putting into, I get from your feedback coming back into me. You're pouring into me with your feedback, and that's all I'm looking for. I'm not trying to get paid. Now, if ABC, CBS, CNN, somebody called me and want me to do a show, I'm going to be hesitant.
Yes, sir.
And the reason I'll be hesitant is because I can't be bought. And I'll leave it at that. I will not be bought.
I'll say this to you. You are a brand, right? And people have to understand that, right? So everything that you do going forward is the brand. The brand is the vision. Everybody don't take that ride with you on the vision because they don't see your vision until afterwards. So your vision has been going strong for 10 years. I witnessed the vision. Thank you for allowing me to be part of the vision. Because, man, boy, oh boy, I tell you, from the start and how it's still going. It's beautiful.
You just said something. And it just made me think of this. And I'm gonna end what my part is on this, on this part about branding and all that. Yes, I'm a brand. However, most, if not all, of the people that listen in, tune in, or have downloaded the show or anything like that, don't see me as a brand. They see me as a friend, as a brother, as a family member, old supervisor. They see me as that. So you have to differentiate the two because we say Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, all those different people, they have never interacted, touched, been in the same room in most cases on a personal level, like all the listeners and most of the listeners to the show have been with me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that into account, there's a difference. There's a difference there because when you're attainable, you're not considered a brand. When you're unattainable, the label is a brand. Just to put it out there, because when you can sit in the same room, talk to people, you can pick up the phone, call somebody, you're personable. See, I don't have no problem talking to somebody if they call my phone. You ain't calling Steve Harvey's phone. You ain't calling Ricky Smiley's phone unless you are friends. You see what I'm saying? So that brand for them is different than the brand is for us. And I'll just leave it at that. So, and that's why I say I don't get offended if you don't buy the t-shirts or the money or that's beside the point for me, because I know it all comes from a good place for anybody that decided to buy or anything like that. So if you want to donate, pour in.
Yep.
You have to see yourself as who you are. That's it. Thank you, bro.
Listen, man, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all go ahead and log into speakonit.com where you can check out all of the Facebook.
Whoa. rwcoolins.com. Now, ain't no speakonit.com no more. Come on, man. That's going to say page not available.
Listen, we need to go ahead and put that. We need to go ahead and start putting that out there again. Because
I know
I'm going to say this to you. Because now you are going into your 10th year. Well, you are already in your 10th year, you're going into the 11th. Now, we all know RW. But now everybody got to know to speak on it. Because you are the person who speaks on it. So, I think you need to go to speakonit.com again. I think you need to go ahead and get that because you still have the ownership of it. Yeah, I tried. Yep. Still see you still got ownership of it, pimping. You gonna act like you ain't got ownership of it. You still got ownership of it. I think you need to go ahead and start doing that right there, man, because
it's been in the works.
Yeah, you are what we call God sent. And you are. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate you so much. So go ahead and tell everybody where to find you at on all social media platforms and websites. And I don't have a mind, body, and soul. I don't have that. All I have is get this man his roses and appreciate this radio personality that you are talking to.
I got one, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this rwcoolins.com. As I said, over all social media platforms, RW Coolins on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. I don't go on Twitter. I don't go on Instagram. I need to start picking that up. That's another conversation for the brand man over there. We'll talk about that offline. But
listen, I got a 50-year-old doing mine. I got a 50-year-old doing mine because I have no clue.
Mind, body, and soul.
Hold up. If you're about to go into that, you need to go ahead and drop that.
No. This is no. Okay. I won't do that. I won't do that. You told me it was your show. I'm sorry, but I won't do that today. Okay. This is very simple. Today. It's very, very, very simple. Mind, body, and soul for the day. 1,440 minutes in a day, in that 24-hour period. So we're taking it as 1,440 moments. Enjoy each and every moment. And as I said in the beginning, every day you wake up, there's a reason. Use that reason. Now, today's mind, body, and soul. Very simple. Don't sell yourself short by what your true value is. Don't sell yourself short by what your true value is. And I say that because of what you talked about a few minutes ago, OT. When we talk about value, in most cases, most people put your value by how much you earn, how much your house costs, how much your car costs, all the different things that are monetarily driven. But don't decrease your value by that standard. Your value is more important than that. The value of who you are to you, to the people around you, the people that love you, and the people that you call friends is your value. As me and OT sat here and talked today, I understand the value of someone believing in you to start a new venture. See, when he came to me and I blew him off numerous times, if y'all heard before,
Yes,
blew
he
him
has.
off, blew him off, blew him off.
I had to track him
And
down in Vegas, y'all, because I didn't even have his telephone number. He left, and I didn't even have his number, but I tracked him. I tracked him.
So when I talk about value of what and how people value you, you have to look at who those people are and what they mean to you, who those people are and are they riding with you, and who those people are as far as when you need something, who can you call? Who can you rely on? Because sometimes I know for me, I get caught up in the fact of asking myself, who can I call? Because I take so many calls. I wonder if I was to make a call, who's going to answer? And then I realized in that same conversation, all the people that I call or that I choose to reach out to for any type of conversation, or the people that call me for anything that's going on, are the same people that I know I can rely on. But we tend to overlook that because we devalue what our standing is with the people that are in our lives compared to what people try to monetize our lives about. I may not make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. I may not make any money from what I do every Saturday morning. But the value is not in what I make, it's what I take. And what I take from it is having the conversation with people to let them know what's going on. The feedback that comes in that I click on and read your comments and your statements, or the phone calls after the show. That's what I take from this. I ain't trying to get rich off this. I'm not trying to be up on no billboard. Be nice. Be nice. But you always have to understand, if I get on the billboard, if I was to get on a billboard, the question would come in, have I gotten bigger than my audience? Because now I see myself on something bigger that everybody else can see. You have to take that and humble yourself sometimes, because everything that you may want may not be good for you when you're trying to find out your true value in this life, because chasing money causes disappointment. Chasing purpose causes the true meaning of what this life is all about.
Say that one more time. Chasing money is what?
I don't remember what I said.
Oh man, well,
it was off the top of my head. Chasing money. Y'all know what I said. I can't remember. These things are just come through me, bro.
That's how you know this show is authentic, live and uncut.
Yeah, don't ask me to repeat nothing, man. I don't remember that stuff.
Hey man,
it's
one-on-one.
just what it is. Appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, man.
Let me talk to the listeners real quick.
Everybody who joined us too.
Yeah, let me talk to the followers real quick. I appreciate each and every one of y'all to tune in, whether you comment, whether you just tune in, whether you share, whether you like. If you're in my life, I appreciate you. And the thing about it is, for those who've known me through my years, have seen me grow through my years, seen me become the man I am through those years, in spite of my trials, my tribulations, my faults, mistakes I've made, people I've hurt, any of that kind of stuff. If you're still riding with me, that means you know who I am, in spite of anything that I may have done wrong in my life. And I appreciate that. And I guarantee you, and I will make you this promise, keep riding. Yes, buckle up. Buckle up. I want you to buckle up. See, I ain't never told you put no seatbelt on. But I'm going to tell you this. If you've been riding with me this long, over these 10 years or longer, depending, buckle up. Because I know, as I said before, God wakes me up with a reason every day. And the reason he's waking me up is about to grow exponentially. Whatever that word is. It's going to expand. It's going to expand. And I know if you rode with me this far, don't get off yet. Don't get off yet, because we about to ride into some big things. That's all I want to say. I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yo, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform and actually being the host of your show, because you're the boss man. Sure. You know what I mean? You definitely the boss man over here.
I don't know when I became the boss man, but
okay. Hey, listen, when I'm on your show, you're the boss, bro.
I don't know. You told me what I could and couldn't say, so I don't know. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Listen, man, congratulations on your 10-year anniversary. Appreciate you so much, man. Much love to you. Much love to the family. Thank you for continue on being in this radio industry through the ups and downs and the difficulties. It's still giving us good shows every Saturday. And you taught me how to take a mental break. I thank you too.
Yeah, we got to touch on that again on another show. But that mental thing we didn't get into today, but that's key.
Yeah,
that's key.
Yeah,
that is key. That is key.
Yeah. Well, yo, man, woo, mind, body, soul. Yeah, go ahead and close them out.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. And as I always say, love yourself, love one another, keep your head up, and most definitely, keep your faith in God. I'll see y'all again next week. I appreciate y'all. 10 years, baby. Keep riding with me. I ain't failed you yet, and I'm out. Appreciate you, OT. Peace.